Hello everybody, and welcome to my talk today on the Dublin Mind-Body experience. My talk today is around mediumship and me. Pardon me. As many of you might know me, and you would probably realise that mediumship is quite important to me. So before we start, I would just like, if you have 2 minutes, just to simply take a small break and we will sit and just connect to each other as we do this. So if you would like, you may sit and or stand or lie, whatever way you are today. But what I'd like you to do is just to concentrate on your breath. And simply put your hands on your heart. And as you do, and as your breath is flowing, connecting to the inside and to the outside of you, just allow yourself to become centered, really centered. And as you connect to your heart and feel the beat of your heart, know that as your heart is beating and as your lungs are expanding and contracting, no matter what life throws at you today, you live another day. But also that the huge, powerful energy source that exists within all of us, whether we call it our soul or our spirit or whatever we wish to call it, that too is alive, but that is also eternal. And this is what I connect to when I start to do my work. So I'd like each and every one of you to connect to that beautiful energy that is your soul or spirit or whatever you like to call it, energy. And allow that soul energy to expand and to be part of you during this little time you're spending with me. Listen to me with your soul and listen to me with your heart so that we can move within each other to make some connections. So now, many years ago, I went and attended a an angel card psychic development class. And just as an add-on, maybe for an hour and a half at the very end, this lovely lady that was teaching us covered or touched upon mediumship. And to me, that was like coming home. And granted, I've used the information that I have received during that class. I still do sometimes. But that opened the door to me and allowed me to think that I too could channel messages. That I too could be one of the people who links this life with the next life. So I've grown this skill in whatever way I can. I've expanded my awareness. I've done every single thing that I can possibly do to be the voice of those who have passed away, to be the voice and to bring the messages that need to come. But it's brought me a great life, it's brought me a great livelihood, but aside from that, number one, it has taken away my complete fear of death. And number two, it has allowed me to be calm. It has allowed me for intervals when I meditate to feel in a small way what it's like to be in the spirit world. But all I really teach, and I teach classes on this online, I teach them in person any way I can because I talk about this constantly, and all I really do is teach you the language so that you can be the communicator. But if you never, ever use this for anything else but to connect to your own people and your own family, isn't it a most wonderful gift? Isn't it a most beautiful thing to happen? That you can make contact or get a feeling or get a sense of your mother or your father or somebody you really care about who's passed away. So that's the gift. And the gift I have received is this gift. But the gift that I have received is the gift of being able to connect for myself. So, you know, people use all sorts, and I used to do every single thing at you know, all sorts of things. I sit with my crystals, I sit with my incense, I do all of this thing. And that's fine when you're learning. But now I just ask that I connect. And I have various spirit guides. Some people come for some parts of my work, some people come for another. But sometimes I'm just aware of the ginormous power of the spirit energy. I was at a venue some time ago, and as the people filed in to sit, in behind them walked each and every one of their family in the spirit world. So it was like I have my physical audience, but then I had my spirit audience and some of them wanted to speak and some didn't. Just like if there were 50 people here today asking for a message, and it's not that somebody's not happy or something, it's just that there are some people that need a message more than others. And some spirit energy will go to a different medium. I might not be the one that matches their energy. And that's okay too. But as we work and as we sit with mediumship, it brings us just more than being able to tell somebody your father loves you or your mother sends you a few flowers. That's not what this is about. This is about you spending a bit of time yourself and sitting in the power. Sitting in the power, this infinite power that goes all through our lifetimes and any other lifetimes. This is the infinite power. And we as human beings are lucky now today, even through things like Zoom and even through meeting people, that for a few minutes we can sit in this power. And for a few minutes we can feel the love, and it's huge love and huge joy that's in this power with us. Now, before I came on, I was thinking, will I have messages today? Will somebody request a message? And normally the people who are going to give me messages from the spirit world kind of pop in beforehand. Sometimes the day before, if they're very, very insistent, sometimes the week before. So I'm just looking at this and I'm just aware that today my big message is from a beautiful man in the spirit world. And even though I never met this man, I feel I know his daughter. And I don't want to give her name, but she also does this kind of work and she attended some of my classes in Sligo. But there is a beautiful man here with a message for he's calling her his best girl. And as he's here, he's rubbing her hair and he's touching her curls, because this is one of the things that she stood out with as a little child, this massive head of curls. But he's also saying that her heart has been broken with him passing. And the funny thing is that she hasn't acknowledged how broken-hearted she is. Her heart has been broken, and he wants her to know that he's so proud of the work that she's doing. She's a fighter. She always has been a fighter. And she's always beating herself up, he's telling me, for not doing enough. She's always beating herself up. I should be doing more. I should be able to do more. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And he's saying, at the moment, you're being a support to so many people in your life. And he's saying that it is time just to stop pushing and to allow. But you have this thing, and I'm speaking to the daughter of wanting more and should be doing and should be doing. He's saying, you have done as much as 5-10 people would do. And he wants you to know that if you spend the time and sit and connect, you will get huge confirmation from him that he's around. He wants you also to open your heart to the grief that you're kind of suppressing a little bit. I feel this message is for Shona. I feel that this man thought that you were the best thing since fry bread, Shona. And I just know that he loves you so deeply. But he's telling you to be as easy on yourself as you would be on anyone else. You need to give yourself the leeway, and you need to give yourself the space. And he's not saying space. You need to give yourself a bit of time, he's saying. A bit of time. Just a bit of time to let this big wound start to heal over. But he's saying you have, amongst all of your family, Shona, you have the ability to spend time with him whenever you want. But he just, oh gosh, the power, how much he loves you, Shona, it's unbelievable. But he just wants you to know that. Let's see. I'm aware of a woman in the spirit world. I don't know who owns her, but she's saying, well, nobody owns it because I own myself. She was a very forthright, thinking lady. And I feel that she would have been very much ahead of her time. The name Kate, no, not Kate, it's Kathleen or Catherine, but maybe an abbreviation of Catherine would stand out to me around this woman. And she talks about being ahead of her time and about wanting women to have whatever she needs. A woman to have whatever she needs. She's talking about too, about she'd no patience for people who dilly-dallied, people who didn't get on with things. But this woman had a huge religious core running right through her life. Running right through it. And she's talking too about that there is a family difficulty, and I'm looking at maybe two brothers plus maybe a sister-in-law with their fingers stirring every single thing up. And what she's talking about is that you need to stand back from this. You need to stand back from this disagreement. This disagreement and this bad feeling has been brewing and brewing for years. But now, and it's not her life that's caused the new aggression, the ending of her life. I feel there's a man involved who has passed on, and now his will and his whatever's been left with him has caused a great deal of aggression. And she's saying you're only at the start of it. So the lady I'm speaking to, and I feel she's one of the women in the centre of this family, you just need to stand back. Just stand back from them. These fellas have always been fighting. They've always, well, they haven't been fighting, but they've always had kind of a dagger in each other, these two brothers. And this is only now, really, that they feel now entitled to surface it. But this woman is very distressed. The woman that is giving me the message, this lady I'm referring to in our world, is very, very distressed and trying to patch things up. Now, is it the mother? I feel it's the mother of the man who's passed, the wife of the man who's passed, the mother of the two sons. And there's nothing thing she can do about this will. There's not one single thing, but stand back from it. Because if either of those lads had any thought in their heads, they'd be thinking about the peace in the family, not anything else. But she's saying that it will work out, but it could be the reason that these two brothers actually don't bother speaking to each other. And there's nothing you can do about it. But the mother needs to stop trying to pacify both of them and making promises about when I make my will, it will be different. She's making promises that are going to be impossible to keep. Because one of these lads, if you gave him, you know, the Statue of Liberty, he'd want something else to go with it. So this lady that I'm looking at is the grandmother. This lady, Kate or Kathleen, is the grandmother, and she's saying they were always the bloody same. Just keep away from them. Let them go. Hello Bridget, how are you? I'm seeing lovely people coming up along here. So, let me see, is there another message that needs to be given today? Because I'm only doing 2 or 3 because, you know, there are a lot of people on the mind-body experience and a lot of people like to have a bit of airtime, and I don't want to hog the air. Anyone that knows me would know I'd stay on all day. And let me see, anything else? I'm aware of a bottle of sleeping pills or some sort of tablets. I'm aware of a young woman, and it's like she made 2 attempts on her life. Now she's succeeded. But this woman has made this young woman made 2 attempts. Whether the first involved a little bit of a cutting thing here on her wrists, I'm kind of half thinking it did. But she's telling me that her depression was so heavy that she actively knew that she couldn't do another Christmas. Now, I'm talking about a young woman. Young to me is anybody under 30. When you get to my age, everybody's young. But young to me is anybody under 30. Now, I see this lovely woman, and I see her, and I see that people were distraught when they found her, because she was stone cold when they found her, so she made sure she could not be revived. She was definitely going to, because I'm seeing she drank something and then she took her tablets, kind of took them early, so that by the time anyone came looking for her the next day, it was a done deal. She is talking about the roses, that it's as if she nearly went to her funeral on a trail of roses, because there were roses brought to the house, there were roses in her coffin, there were roses on the wreath. It's like roses were very significant to her and very significant to the family. She's talking to that as she was leaving, she just went to sleep. She was quite determined, and she was on almost a kind of a high over actually getting to end this misery. And she's saying that her grandmother, this lovely, lovely woman, came and collected her from her own bedroom, because she died in her own bed. And she had everywhere tidied. This is what she's showing me. She tidied everything, knowing she was going to do this. So whether she'd stuff in bags or boxes, or whether everything was pristine, she'd no dirty laundry, she'd nothing. Everything was done because she knew she was going to do this. And actually she had been, in her own way, saying goodbye to her friends and family the weeks preceding this. But what she's saying, she's absolutely and completely delighted to be where she is. She wouldn't come back today. I feel this is not a long thing, because I'm feeling it's a small funeral, so I'm feeling it must be this kind of COVID era. And she's talking about somebody singing that was significant to her. They didn't do all of the songs at the funeral, but they got up and did maybe 1 or 2, and this person who sang has a relationship or a meaning to her. But she really would love her family to know that she's happy. She really and truly would love her family to know. Now, I feel she didn't live at home. I feel she lived in an apartment or a house share or a flat or something like that. But they had huge difficulties in coming and emptying this because it was so sad for them. But she's saying, ma'am, my pain is over. My days of pain are over. And she's saying, I am so happy where I am. I had fought this depression. I had been counselled within inch of my life. I'd taken antidepressants. I'd walked. I'd been mindful. I'd done every bloody thing. But nothing, I could not face it. And she just wants people to know that she's happy. She's sorry for the people she hurt, but she really is happy now. What else about her? She liked rings, because I keep moving my own ring on and off my finger. It's like she would have worn a couple of rings maybe on one finger or on fingers beside each other. And that she's one particular, now I know she has a sister or maybe 2, but there's also one particular ring she'd like to give to one of her friends as well. But the rings are still within the family, they haven't been given out yet. Anything else around her? I know this girl is in Ireland. Anything else, because I feel it's an Irish type funeral. She keeps showing me a big R, the letter R. Now, the letter R, in my mind, could be anything. It could be her name, it could be anything. But she keeps showing me. And I asked her, is it her name? Is it Rebecca or Rachel? And she's smiling. She's just smiling and she's saying, now I don't have a name. Now I just have a heart that's full of love for everybody around me. So I don't know if, as I say, I never know what I'm going to get when I do these things. And as I say, I could sit here and chat about this all day. But I think for each and every one of us, I can actually show you within a few minutes, and I've done this before, how to make a connection to your own spirit people today. Now, they're not going to come to see you out of their coffin like in chains. They're going to, the people you will connect with today, either seeing or feeling or hearing or knowing, are going, you might only feel the love, you might only feel the energy. But these people are going to come to you in a form that you will recognize, even though that's not their form now. So if you want to do this with me, I'd be delighted. It'll only take a couple of minutes. And because I'm watching the time here. And if it's a thing that you'd like to just relax into this. Now, don't struggle if you can't see things. I deal with people who can see loads of things and people who can see nothing. For years, I could see not a thing. So if you'd like to just concentrate and get yourself comfortable a bit. And if you can say to whoever's in the family, listen, don't come in for 5 minutes. Just give me 5. Just to sit back and close your eyes. So if you can take your awareness as much as you can away from the outside world. And I'd like you to place yourself and imagine that you're lying in your bed, your lovely, soft, comfortable bed. And you know how that feels. You know how your duvet feels. You know how your pillows feel. You know how your room smells. So imagine that you can feel the sheet on your bed and the pillow behind your head and the duvet or the blankets over you. And imagine that you're lying flat and you're going into the most comfortable sleep that you can imagine. It's warm and it's dark and it's familiar. So see yourself as you go into this lovely, deep, comfortable sleep. Snuggle in, get warm. And now as you drift off to sleep, instead of drifting into your old way, you drift into a beautiful dream. And in this dream, you see that there beside your bed is a magic carpet of all the colours in the world. And you see in this dream, as you get out of your bed and sit on this magic carpet, all the edges are kind of heavy gold tassels all around it. But you're sitting on it, and it's of absolutely no problem. And this magic carpet is coming to bring you out into the night. So miraculously it lifts you out through your roof and out into the night sky. And it's a lovely, crisp, kind of frosty, starry night. But you don't mind, you're not a bit cold. You're feeling so warm and safe on your magic carpet. And then it goes from the night sky up higher and higher until you're actually sailing among the stars, and past that till you go to the darkness. And it's very dark in this dark place, but ahead of you, you can see a beautiful light. And it's as if your magic carpet slides along this beam of light until you come to another world. Oh, it's so beautiful. Your magic carpet lands down gently on this other world, and you step off it. And in this world, it is a world made of light and crystals. But the thing that strikes you the most is that immediately your heart seems to open. Every single thing that you were concerned about seems to just drift away. And you're in this beautiful place of light and peace and happiness. And there's a pathway in front of you. And each side of the pathway, it looks as if there are trees, but they're not quite trees. They're like trees or branches with flowers on them because they're tall. But you start walking down through this avenue, almost like cherry blossoms, only bigger. You're walking down and the smell is indescribable. It's beautiful. And you think, this is a place I'd love to live in. But you're walking along. And then the pathway is straight, but coming down towards you, you see people. It could be one person, it could be 3, it could be 5. It could be a person or it could be your angel. But you kind of walk, nearly glide towards them. And as you reach them, you realise these are the people that you really want to make contact with in the spirit world. So see yourself as you meet them. And over to one side in this pathway, there's a kind of a roundish kind of a clearing. And it has lovely seats and chairs in it, like you'd have in a garden. So you go and sit down with your person. But before you do, I want you to hug them. And as you hug them, feel their arms going around you. Feel how they feel under your hands and your arms. Feel this rush of tears and emotion as you hug them. As you feel them one more time, just feel it. Be aware of it. If you can't physically feel them, feel the love that flows from them. You might be aware of somebody's hand in yours. An old, hard-worked, loved hand. And now go and sit on the seat. And this is the time to have your conversation. To tell them how you're feeling and to ask how they're feeling. And if your angel has come instead of your spirit people, now is the time to spend this time with your angel and sit in this angel energy. And angels communicate thought to thought, not word to word. So you would think anything you needed to know and they would respond in their thoughts, which you can hear. But as you reconnect, you feel the love and you feel the joy. And if you were in pain or sad around this time over loss, now is the time to let this love and joy wash it away from you. And now as the energy becomes thinner, it is time to say goodbye to your person or your people. Embrace them if you want. And you'll go back from the clearing onto the footpath. And they turn away and you turn away. But as you leave, you're not sad now because you have a heart full of love. And to see yourself walking back down the pathway with the beautiful trees with the flowers on them and onto your magic carpet. Knowing that this place is here whenever you choose to sit and visit it. And as your magic carpet slides down along the beam of light and into the dark and then into the starry night sky. And feel yourself sinking down until you're back in your own warm, comfortable bed. And now when you're ready, just take your attention back into the real world. And know that you've had a wonderful experience. An experience that you can repeat again and again. And each time you repeat it, details will become more vivid. Emotions will become more vivid. Sensations will become stronger. So now, this is the little meditation I would do myself when I want to connect to my own people. I find it very, very consoling. And even if I had a question I wanted to ask my mother, well, sometimes she'd just tell me anyway, but even if I had a question that she wasn't kind of giving it up on, I would kind of go into it and say, now, what's happening here? What can I do? That kind of thing. So, I hope that you have experienced some part of that. It's easy for me to do it. I'm doing this most days, every day, nearly every day, because I'm working and I'm tuning into work. I love teaching this. I've taught mediumship on Zoom. I've taught it as part of psychic development. And for those of you who have already done a basic course and might like a little insight, that you might want to spend an hour with me one-to-one, I am open to that. I am open to mentoring people to develop their gift. And I would be happy to discuss that with you and what it entails if you wanted to contact me. I am also planning lots of courses. I love doing them one-to-one. I love doing them in a group. The group energy is lovely. But at the moment, it's all on Zoom. But as I say, if you wanted a little help with the questions, now I don't know all the answers, nobody does, but the few I do know, I'd be more than happy to share with you. Because you think of all the people in the spirit world that want to give a message. And think of us wanting to take messages and share them. But there are right and wrong ways of doing it. There are ethical ways and non-ethical ways. And I feel that that's what makes a good medium, when you work in an ethical fashion. So I'm back again tomorrow, I think at 12:45 with the Mind Body Experience, and I'm going to talk about 7 signs you are psychic. You're very welcome to join me. As I say, I am planning, if you want to contact me, I'm planning on doing, I'm doing at the moment, I am recording a chakra course that you can just download and follow at your own leisure, because some people's chakras move differently than others. Some people's time frames and chakras. I'm doing that at the moment. Psychic development, I am doing a basic psychic development course starting soon as well. But if you have any interest in any of these, or if you'd like to just come on and have a one-to-one reading, you know where I am. But if you never do any of those things, if you just listen to the meditation and got 1 ounce of comfort today, this is a job well done. So thank you so much. And if you're not doing anything tomorrow at 12:45, I'll talk another little bit of nonsense to you. Take care, everyone. Bye.